There's a big Ferris wheel here in Atlanta,
Oh, yeah.
much like the London Eye, and they call it the Atlanta Wheel or something like that. I don't know what they call it, but it's basically a carnival ride that's heated and cooled. Not a carnival ride.
You
It's
have
like
these
the
cars,
the
these
cars.
enclosed cars that
Well,
you can get into.
The London Ferris wheel is probably 300 feet tall. I mean, it's like 30 stories. And you could fit like 40 people in just one of those things. And it takes like an hour to go all the way around or something. Here in Atlanta, you can fit like 5 people in one of them. They have seats. They're heated and cooled. And it takes about 15 minutes to complete from beginning to end, right? And it's high. 10 stories, 12 stories.
Yeah, it's
like
fun. I've done it a couple times.
Kids had never done this.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, let's go do that. It's a chilly day in Atlanta. Let's go down there. We'll get in one of those heated little things. We'll spin them up a couple times. It'll be exciting for them. They had the greatest time. And then we were thinking to ourselves, well, this is an Atlanta day. Let's go do something else at Atlanta. Let's eat somewhere that like an Atlanta staple. And what we come up with, unbelievably, is the Varsity.
Oh, yeah. That's it. That is an institution.
If you've never been to Atlanta, way back in the 50s, when McDonald's was kind of coming into prominence, 50s and 60s, a gentleman here in Atlanta decided he would open a huge drive-in
The drive-in, yeah.
restaurant called the Varsity.
Near Georgia Tech.
Right down there next door to Georgia Tech. It's huge. And what it's famous for is the way in which they do the orders. So
Slaw dog, chili dog.
yeah, there's crazy men back there like
fast.
What you have?
What you have?
2 fries, all kind of dogs, and cleaning shit up off the wall later.
Yes.
They like scream at you. It's like a horse race, right?
Yeah.
And people are everywhere, and it's just like, and the kitchen is 100 feet long, and people are just throwing burgers up and fries everywhere.
Yeah.
And chili on the floor. It's just an insane thing to go watch on a busy day, like a Georgia Tech football game or a sports event. What you have? People yelling all over the place. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, they keep there's some kind of system.
Yeah, I basically think at this point there really is no rhyme or reason to what they're actually saying.
Right.
I think they just keep the hamburgers and hot dogs coming because you can only get 2 things. A chili dog,
The chili dogs.
or a chili burger.
Yeah.
Right? And both of them are going to give you bad gas at some point.
Yes.
Because there is no quality to the meat whatsoever. You just have to go there for the experience.
It is,
It's like a Walt Disney World burger. Costs way too much and it tastes like nothing. So we decide we're going to go to the Varsity. But we go up to a Varsity. Now they have like 3 locations or 4 locations. We go up to one north of Atlanta because there is a Georgia Tech game going on. And I'm like, I'm not going to even deal with that
Too
traffic.
much, yeah.
We go up there. No one. You could throw a bowling ball in that place.
Oh,
you
okay.
could throw a fucking bowling ball in this Varsity at that time.
And this is one that you can walk in.
You just walk right in, right? Yeah, I guess you could go through the drive-thru too, but we decided we're going to walk in. So we walk in. There's literally 3 people sitting in the dining room, and then there's nobody at the counter. But all of a sudden, somebody comes. There's like 2 doors on each end, and I walk in with the kids, and then all of a sudden, I see 2 people walking in from the other direction. Nah, I'm going to say this again because I've said it before. I am not prejudiced against fat people. I'm just using the explanation to tell you what happened. 2 very large human beings walked in the door, husband and a wife. They were holding hands. And holy, they were big, like the kind you see on My 600-Pound Life. Big people.
Yeah.
And you've got that race going on in your mind, right? Can I get to the front counter first? Because, I got the kids. They could have been tiny people, and I would have said the same thing to myself.
Yeah.
Because I'm always having a race with somebody, right? And I'm like, can I get to the front counter first? But, of course, I have 2 kids. So no matter.
Yanking Matthias's hand quick.
I'm dragging him along.
Come on.
Quick. We can't wait 1 more second for our chili dog. I can't wait. Yes, it's like when I go to Disney World. Even though there are going to be 600 people that are clearly going to be in front of me in any line that I'll be a mile away from a ride, and in my head, the person in front of me is clearly heading to the same ride, and I got to get in front of them somehow.
Okay.
I'm like,
Like a game.
Yeah, it's
like
a game.
Pac-Man.
Yeah, it's like it's a game, but it gets very serious in my head. I'm just way too serious about that stuff. So I have this game going on in my head, but with 2 kids, I can't drag Matthias fast enough because now Astrid is like, honey, hold on 1 second. Let's take the kids' coats off. And then we'll make sure their shoes are tied. And then I'll make sure I got their water out of the bottle. And then I'll go pick this table. I'll get the ketchup.
Checklist.
You get the fries. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, what do you want? What do you want?
We got to get there.
Quick. I'm like turning my head left and right. I'm like, quick, what do you want? I don't care. I'll get you something. There's only 2 things.
I'll take a slow dog.
I'll take a slow dog. You'll get a slow dog. That's what you like. I'll buy everything. I don't care. I just want to get there first. Everything. I just wanted to scream.
One of everything.
I'll take everything. Don't let them order first. We came in first. But inevitably, I did not get there first. These two people walked right up. And, at some point, we walked at the same time we got there.
Yeah.
And then, I got to set an example for the kids. So I'm like, oh, no, after you. Fucking assholes. Then I'm just like mumbling under my breath about
They were probably thinking the same thing. We better get out there for all those kids.
Of course,
and
yeah.
the whole family
that's right.
goes.
Well, no, I don't think they were because here's what happened. There is one guy, looks like the manager at the front. Usually at Varsity, there's like 10 people taking your order, right? But because there's nobody in there's only one manager, and then there's 100 people back in the kitchen, but there's one manager. And he takes their order, and I can hear the order. And she goes like this. Ready? He goes, what do you have? What do you have? Right? And she goes, oh, okay, hold on 1 second. Let me get the piece of paper out. And I'm like, no, not the piece of paper.
The piece of paper? What was the paper?
If you can't remember what you're going to order at the Varsity, there's only two things. That means you're ordering for everybody.
Yeah.
Or yourself. One of the
later.
two. Oh, yeah, shit you not. We'll take 20 cheeseburgers. We'll take 10 slaw dogs. We'll take 10 chili dogs. We'll take 10 chili and cheese dogs. We'll take 33 fries. We'll take 2 mocha shakes. Give me an extra 2 cheeseburgers. We forgot about Ben and Larry. Let's better get Ben and Larry.
Pies too. Don't they have those like?
Oh, she ordered pies. Yeah. Yep. She's like, and let's get 12 pies, and then we'll get 17 Coca-Colas. And I'm like, oh. So now Astrid's across the dining room looking at me, and I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. I'm like, oh, man. But that's okay because it's a big order, and what's going to happen is the guy's going to call back the order. He's going to put some trays down, and he's going to step aside, and I'm going to order, and then, eventually I'll get my food. And maybe even if the manager is smart, he'll take the couple of burgers that are up front, he'll give them to me, and then, he can wait on that order. Clearly, they can't expect they're going to get their order first, right? I mean, they just ordered $150 worth of shit from a place where it costs 60 cents for a fucking burger, right?
Yes.
No.
No.
No. The manager, God bless his heart, waits for the entire order to be made. Then he packages it separately.
Before he even took your order?
Before he even looked at me. 15 fucking minutes this guy was sitting there packaging burgers and
Are you
wax
standing
paper.
up at the front?
I was standing, they have in Disney World they have the rails.
Yes.
They have a rail at the Varsity, I guess, to keep some kind of order when,
right,
when
you're
at
slammed.
So I was standing at the opening, I'm next kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the more minutes that went by, the closer I got to the front desk, I was, at some point, I just was leaning up at the front desk. And every time the manager swung his head, I was, I don't want to be rude, but I was I'd put my hand up in the, I could hear my kids screaming in the background. And Astrid's like, what's going on? And I just wanted to point to the two incredibly large people next to me and be like, they did it. I don't know. He packaged 50 burgers and dogs, got 17 Coca-Colas, 2 shakes, and 70 pies before he even took my order.
Yeah,
and
he was on a mission.
So pissed. I was like, this sucks. You have to be able to do this more efficiently. There has to be a way to do this more efficiently.